Primal Chaos.
Hey guys, Primal Chaos here. Welcome to the channel. Okay, so it's been a hot minute since I've been even involved in the reaction game. I took about a year off, and so I've been out of the loop pretty badly. I've come back and done a Wren video, and this is the third one I'm doing today to just trying to get some content back out there. It'd be remiss of me to not check back in with an artist that I'm not even burying the lead here. You clicked on this video, but an artist who has always wildly impressed me. And someone who's within this community, and that's Lolli Wren, the Fairy Voice Mother. And so, we go back a little ways. We had a little bit of a back and forth a couple of years ago about some things, and I've reacted to one of her songs before, and she was absolutely lovely about it, to be honest. Anybody who's never met her, and I haven't, but we've interacted, rest assured that the person you get behind the scenes is exactly the person you think it is. That's the thing I love most about it. And I'll tell anybody, anytime Lolli comes up in anything, Discord or whatever, I'll be like, you guys don't even understand. So look, I feel like I it's not that I owe it to her to check out some more of her stuff. I want to. Like, everything I've done in the past, everything I've experienced of hers has always been wildly impressive. And so I wanted to jump back in and check out something else. I messaged her, I haven't heard back, but I was like, hey, I've noticed there's two songs that I'm not familiar with, which is Typical of Me and All Mine. And I think I might have just, what did I actually click on? I just took a guess because we got time zones and stuff. So Typical of Me is what I'm jumping in to, and I'm going to check it out. Hopefully it's not super emotional because I've already cried today. I just did a song by Youngblood. It got emotional. So if I'm a bit puffy, that's why. Anyway, we're going to jump right in. Lolli Wren, Typical of Me. Here we go.
Rosy cheeks burning up. Oh, this light does you no favors, buttercup. Just leave it all to me.
Reminds me of Tori Amos.
How you look at me. I know you'll be mine forever. Aren't you sweet? Can't even better blink. Fascination in the first degree. Likely I'm stirring in your dreams, and if you wanted to leave, then you'd already be gone. It's clear to see, baby. Wouldn't that be typical of me?
First of all, just to get this out of the way, the production is really sumptuous, man. It's such a beautiful track. I don't know. I believe, and it's been years, so I apologize if I get this wrong. She used to write with someone maybe named Mateus, I think, someone like that, who does a lot of the production. I don't know. Maybe Lolli did this all herself. I have no idea. Fill me in if you know in the comments. But what I love about the choices she makes throughout that is it's the difference between somebody who understands music theory, or not even music theory, but understands why they're singing what they're singing, and somebody who's just a singer who just maybe can learn a melody and lyrics and come up with their own. It's the choices harmonically that you make in a melody that make all the difference. And it's, knowing what I know about Lolli, it's not that much of a mystery that why this is happening. I know that she's very acutely aware of music theory and things like that. And she's an instrumentalist and stuff. But some of those little semitone melodic choices that just give that, I guess it's, I don't know, like a harmonic minor flavor or something like that. She's obviously better than this than I will ever be. So I'm ham-fisting my way through this description, but just like these little choices.
Love me, baby. Fascination in the first degree. Likely I'm stirring in your dreams, and
nice, you know?
Begun, it's
And
clear to
it's
see.
not like it's unusual. It doesn't stand out as being like overtly, you know, what's the word? Analytically chosen. It feels natural and it feels rich and sumptuous and it feels like it flows beautifully. But it's just a choice that may not have been made by a lesser musician, if that makes sense. Or maybe it would. I don't know.
Baby, wouldn't that be typical of me?
It's also very self-reflective and self-referential in a way that seems familiar from other stuff I've heard from Lolli as well. Like, isn't it just like me to be that person who falls too deeply, or, you know, and I love that. There's a humanity to that I really dig. Oh, the strings are great.
Cold as ice, baby blue, you'd look right at home in heaven, wouldn't you? An angel through and through. Ooh, I'm a creep. Well, and wouldn't that be typical of me, baby? Fascination in the first degree, likely. I'm starring in your dreams, and if you wanted to leave,
Oh, that was a cold look,
then
boy.
you'd
Oh my
already
God.
be gone. It's clear to see, baby. Wouldn't that be typical of me?
Oh, that was interesting. The motivation behind the acting there, it seemed like it was like that. She's singing the part, but she's also playing the role, and she's putting on this artifice of like, I'm going to put on a brave face. Like the character I'm talking about, not Lolli acting. I'm saying the character is like, let me just turn into myself. The facade that people see, right? You can see it. There's a coldness in her eyes, but there's the smile on her face. That's really cool. What else do I want to point out? Oh, the other thing too, and again, I'm not a vocal coach, so Lolli would understand way better than me, or basically any other vocal coach reactor, right? The placement of her voice just naturally falls to the very front, which gives her great sort of clarity and like there's a distinction to every syllable and things like that. That's super interesting. But where it works so beautifully in this production is you've got this big sumptuous kind of underpinning like backing track. Like there's so much going on in the low end with strings and dynamics and things like that. Having her like pristine kind of Arctic kind of presence across the top of that just floats so delicately on top. It's like little wind chimes over the top of like, you know, the background noise, you know, and somebody who says, you know, it might be like a mezzo or something, or somebody who sits a little bit back further in their vocal process or whatever, it may not cut through the same way, and it may not sound as delicate and rich. And it's just something I'm noticing, and it sort of reminds me a little bit of what's her name, the singer from Blackbriar. And in fact, this is a fairly similar in genre to something they would do as well. And you know, some of those sort of like 70s inspired, like Kate Bushy kind of little vocal. Where are we up to? I don't want to lose where I want to. I think there was like La Di Da's or something like that. That just sort of struck me as that dramatic sort of Kate Bushy era, esoteric pop music, you know?
Baby, fascination in the first degree, likely. I'm starring in your dreams, and if you wanted to leave, then you'd already be gone. It's clear to see, baby. Wouldn't that that be typical?
Yeah. She's playing a character in the mirror. Like the character is playing a character. That's so cool.
Of me. Of
Oh, nice.
That perfume you got me is running out. The perfume you got me is running out.
There you go.
Oh. Buy the woman some perfume. This is going to end in
So
tears.
blasé about the little things.
And you're obsessed with them.
Oh. Oh, okay, this is the third act. Oh, see, that can't be good.
Don't go, you know that I can stay right here until you love me. I can be perfect just the way you want me. My heart is made of clay, just shape it in whatever way you want to make this go away. Invalidate the vows we made. I can't breathe, help me. I might go too far. Wouldn't that be typical of me?
Come on.
Wouldn't that be typical of me, baby? Fascination in the first degree, like me. I'm starring in your dreams, and if you wanted to leave, then you'd already begun. It's clear to see, baby. Wouldn't that be typical of me? Wouldn't that be typical of me?
Oh. How very dramatic. I love that they put this little... They could have easily just done this cheaply, but I love that they're keeping it going. Okay, Gary B. Lucas. Eduardo. Okay. Wow, man. Okay, first of all, I just want to address the implication at the end of that video. It's my personal opinion that he got what he deserved. The audacity of that man. And also, you know, having watched a lot of the TV show Bones lately, you're going to need to do more than just wipe off the knife. You're going to have to do something chemically because they got that luminol, they'll spray on there and it'll be as clear as day, you know, so just so you're aware for future reference. But my God, okay, that was a journey. The screams. Look, you know what? I've watched enough of the Fairy Voice Mother, Lolli's material, to know she's capable of producing basically any vocal sound. Like I've heard her do throat singing and all that sort of stuff. And like she's more than capable. I shouldn't be surprised that she would be able to do screams. But the thing that differentiates this from almost everything else I've ever seen, you know, and there's this weird thing. I don't know if it's just a guy thing or what, but every time a female vocalist is a capable and competent screamer or, you know, growler, like your Gingers of the world and things like that, Taddy from Ginger, or, you know, going back to Angela Gosso, Alyssa White-Gluse, all those artists, it always still seems surprising, and it shouldn't be, right? We're all vocalists. We're all able to do the same things, you know, some to a better degree than others. That's fair, but it's this weird inherent cultural sexism that it's unusual. And at which point it sort of almost becomes fetishized. Like, oh, I'm into female vocalists who scream, as opposed to just liking music and liking artists for what they do and things like that. It becomes like this kind of, let's add another one to the list. Here's another chick who can do it. And that bothers me deeply because I love expressive vocalists. And I don't care how they're expressing themselves. I just love anybody who's capable of doing amazing things. I think it's just that it's a little bit more rare. And so it's like diamonds, right? De Beers makes them rare, so they're rare and therefore they're more expensive and more sought after. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But what I find as a point of difference with this performance as opposed to almost everything else is that the screams were utilized to, rather than just being like, oh, we got a breakdown, someone's got to scream. It was utilized to convey emotional capacity in a way that you don't see normally. It was the character's breaking point. It was the moment where somebody would be frustrated enough to scream, right? And that's the difference. Lolli used it artistically and with restraint in such a beautiful way that makes sense, but was also beautifully executed. And, you know, the other thing that like seems to be held in high regard is the ability to hold a long scream. And anybody who can do it knows that it's not as hard as it sounds. If you understand how to sing with breath control and support and things like that, being able to scream for a long period of time is really only contingent. If you're singing safely, right, without any damage or anything, you can hold it for as long as you can hold your breath, you know. But again, it was tastefully done in a way that like, she's like, there's probably a little bit of ego of like, I'm going to show you guys what I can do in this track. I mean, I don't know, maybe she's done stuff before with this kind of thing, but for me, this is my first experience with it. And it's like, you know, I might as well, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go hard. I'm going to do a big, long scream. It's going to drive people crazy. But it was also tastefully within the bounds of what was necessary for the song. So it's not this sort of big ego-driven thing, you know? And I mean, I'm going to check that out again. Oh, and the progression from typical singing through gets more and more distortion every word until she hits it, you know, which is a little unusual also because typically you'll see a vocalist wind up for the big scream. You know, they're not going to have a line leading into it because that would just be more difficult than it needs to be. But here we have Lolli doing Lolli things.
My heart is made of clay, just shape it in whatever way you want to make this go away. Invalidate the vows we made. I can't breathe, help me, I might go too far.
That's amazing. The other thing I want to talk about is in general the whole composition is just beautifully pieced together in a way that builds to a crescendo and then it dies off and then there's a break and then there's some dialogue and then there's more, it's such almost like a musical theater piece that would be right at the core of like the most important pivotal moment of the musical, and that's not lost on me either. That's really, it's emotionally driven and it's so beautifully like compositionally competent as well. I'd love to know, like the process of writing this, like where do you start with something like this? Do you go, hey, I got some cool chords and then it just gets produced into this monolithic long opus, right? It'd be interesting to see because I mean I've done similar things in the past that just sort of pieced themselves together as I tinkered with them, but I'd be curious to know how this one worked, but boy oh boy, they stick the landing. It's beautifully composed, it's beautifully performed, it's executed. Production wise, it sounds amazing. There's some bits in there that remind me of Tori Amos. Her like Little Earthquakes is one of my all-time favorite albums, and so that's always a plus for me. I'm not as big of a Kate Bush fan, but I'm hearing some elements there. And again, I hate doing that, comparing artists, because Lolli's a unique artist. She's not an analog for a modern day version of those other performers, right? It's a whole different thing. But we tend to want to classify things when we're sort of trying to quantify what makes something great. And it's like, oh, wait, I'm hearing influence there, but maybe there's not. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Who knows? But Kate Bush. It was the same when I first heard Blackbriar. I was hearing a lot of that sort of kookiness to the music. That's a little bit witchy and a little bit. It's got that kind of. It's a little bit of a dirge, and but it has these beautiful soaring vocals and weird little idiosyncratic sort of lilts up the scale to these, notes, like it'll be a jump up there and then a fall back down. And then, that sounds kind of musically disjointed. I want to say like compositionally dissonant, but it sends the wrong messages because it's not. It's just like these little flourishes vocally that just sort of lend themselves to sounding a little bit unusual and kooky in a really cool way. But that's basically it. I'm obviously a huge fan. Thank you for checking out this reaction. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it as much as you like the song, because it's a bit of a masterpiece. Thanks again for checking in. I'm Primal Chaos. I'll catch you in the next one.